school that his difficulties became obvious. Although he had known some letters and even some words in preschool, he had not been able to master phonics. He did not do at all well in the phonics checks conducted by his teacher at the end of Year 1, and his writing, although well-formed, was minimal, and his spellings mostly difficult to decipher. He was placed in a special catch-up group in his class, in an attempt to bring his reading on, and, although classmates in the same group progressed well, Bobby did not. Rather, he began to fall further and further behind his peers, and his behavior began to deteriorate. Misha. Misha is a 10-year-old girl who has struggled with reading since starting school. Her parents are worried because she will soon be transferring to secondary school, and they fear she will not be able to cope with the literacy demands. Misha has received 2 lots of intervention, remedial reading within school, and has progressed quite well in both reading and writing. However, her reading is still slow and effortful. Because she has to expend a lot of energy on decoding words on the page, she finds it difficult also to pay attention to what she is reading. Not surprisingly, she gets little enjoyment from reading. Misha is very creative and loves writing and illustrating stories. In fact, this is one of her favorite pastimes. Yet her spelling is poor, and she does not get credit for what is, in all other respects, excellent work. Misha is becoming increasingly anxious about her performance and beginning to say she doesn't want to go to school. Harry. Harry is a 30-year-old man who has made his career in the food industry, primarily in marketing. He has great ideas for branding and advertising, and he is a superb salesman. Harry says that he has struggled academically throughout his life. He was assessed for dyslexia at 9 years of age and had a lot of extra help with reading and spelling, both from his parents and from a tutor. As a young adult, he avoids literacy-related tasks. Indeed, that is why he has chosen to be a salesman, but he struggles to complete forms, invoices, and tax returns. Harry avoids reading at all costs, saying he's only ever read one book, Like a Virgin, by Richard Branson. He writes when he has to, mainly lists. Lists of things to do and not to forget. He would say that it is his memory and organizational skills that let him down most, not his literacy. These 3 cases provide a sense of what it is like to be dyslexic. The nature of dyslexia changes with age, and the symptoms experienced appeared to shift too. Nonetheless, at the core of the problem is a difficulty in decoding words for reading and encoding them for spelling. Fluency in this process is never achieved. Further, the condition persists in spite of the provision of extra help. The 3 cases also illustrate co-occurring problems. For Bobby, some conduct difficulties. For Misha, anxiety. And for Harry, problems of memory, attention, and organization. Such additional difficulties are common, but whether they are a consequence of dyslexia or have a different origin is not yet fully understood. The medical model of dyslexia. During the early years of the 20th century, the study of congenital word blindness was taken up by eye specialists like James Hinchelwood, a contemporary of William Pringle Morgan, who described cases adhering to what was to become the medical model of dyslexia. These clinicians viewed congenital word blindness as a discrete condition with a specific set of signs and symptoms. However, this conceptualization of reading difficulties began to change in the 1930s, following the landmark publication Disorders of Speech, Language, Reading and Spelling by the American neuropathologist Dr. Samuel T. Orton. Orton had a very important insight. He noticed that poor reading runs in families and that other family members often have problems of speech or language, including stammering. He went on to link these observations to incomplete brain lateralization, the tendency of one side of the brain to specialize in certain cognitive functions, and, in turn, with the frequent letter and word reversals associated with dyslexia.